In the silent expanse of space, where the stars gleamed like distant promises, there was a small, isolated world, quiet, forgotten by the greater galactic powers. It was a place where the horrors of war were long past, but the echoes still lingered in the minds of the few who dared to live there. Among the sparse inhabitants of this world was a man named Vance Kendrick, once a decorated officer of the Galactic Federation, now a retired hermit in his late 60s. His combat days were long over, the years having erased most of his glory, leaving behind only a stoic, weathered soul. Vance lived alone, far from the hustle of society, in a modest cabin nestled in the craggy hills of this backwater planet. He'd chosen isolation after the war, after the loss of so many comrades and the collapse of his home. Peace didn't come easy to him, but he had come to accept it in the quiet rhythm of his daily life. Until that fateful day when the alien creature fell from the sky. It wasn't the first time Vance had seen strange things from beyond the stars. The Federation had been at war with various alien species for decades, and his time in the military had brought him into contact with a wide array of extraterrestrial life forms. But this was unlike anything he'd ever encountered before. The creature had fallen from the heavens with a deafening crash, the earth shaking under the force of its landing. Vance, startled by the noise, grabbed his old laser rifle and hurried outside. His heart raced as he reached the source of the disturbance, only to find something completely unexpected: a baby alien dragon, tangled in a net of deadly energy beams. It was small, no bigger than a large dog, with shimmering scales that seemed to shift in color with every movement. Its wings were delicate, still in the early stages of growth, and its eyes, large and filled with fear, locked onto Vance's. The energy beams that held it in place were designed to immobilize, laced with deadly currents of electricity that could fry a being's nervous system in seconds. Without thinking, Vance dropped to his knees beside the struggling creature. His fingers, though gnarled with age, were still swift as he deactivated the trap with a practiced ease. It was a simple matter. He had deactivated enough traps in his days to know the mechanics of every kind. The creature's wings twitched, and its breathing grew more rapid as it struggled to regain its bearings. "Easy now," Vance murmured, his voice soft but steady, calming in its familiarity. The dragon's large eyes fixed on him, and for a moment there was an understanding between them, an unspoken bond of trust. Vance gently stroked the creature's head, and though it flinched at first, it eventually relaxed into his touch. It was then that the real shock came. The dragon, as fragile and young as it was, opened its mouth and released a sound. Not a roar or growl, but a telepathic pulse. Vance's mind was overwhelmed with a flood of images and emotions, memories that were not his own. The dragon was not just a creature from another world. It was something far more important, something that had been sent to Earth as part of a larger galactic mission. The dragon's message, conveyed through their shared mind, was clear: I am the last of my kind. The galaxy is dying, and the only hope lies in you, human. Vance's heart hammered in his chest. He had always known that the galaxy was a vast, complex place, but he never imagined he would be at the center of something so monumental. The weight of the creature's words hung heavy on him, but there was no time to question them. There was no time for anything but action. Within hours, the small alien creature had healed under Vance's careful attention. His years of experience in the Federation had taught him more than just how to fight. He had learned the value of compassion, of patience. These skills, honed over decades, were exactly what the dragon needed to recover. But as the day wore on, the true scope of their situation became clear. The energy beams that had ensnared the dragon had not come from nowhere. There were others in the galaxy who would stop at nothing to capture or kill the last of this species. And these others were already on their way. Vance knew he couldn't protect the dragon forever, not on this planet, not alone. He needed help, but who could he trust? The Galactic Federation? They were more interested in their own power than the lives of individual species. And the mercenaries and bounty hunters that roamed the stars? They were after the dragon, not its well-being. In a moment of clarity, Vance made a decision. He would not wait for others to save the galaxy. He would do it himself. The next several days were a blur of preparation. Vance reactivated his old Federation communications equipment, tapping into secret networks and channels he had long since abandoned. He reached out to old contacts, friends from his past life, those who still owed him favors. One by one, they came through, offering assistance in ways he had never expected. He secured a ship, old but reliable, and began training the baby dragon. It was clear that the dragon, though powerful, was inexperienced. It had been born into a world of war, its species hunted almost to extinction. Vance taught the dragon how to harness its powers, how to defend itself, how to survive. In return, the dragon taught Vance, opening his mind to the mysteries of the galaxy and the ancient secrets that lay hidden in the stars. The day they left the planet, the skies were dark with the ships of those who sought the dragon's power. But Vance was ready. The ship, though small, was fast, and with the dragon at his side, they flew into the void, chased by those who would destroy them. But the chase was not as straightforward as the hunters had expected. The dragon, now fully bonded with Vance, had unlocked abilities that no one had foreseen. They were not just running, they were fighting back. With every confrontation, Vance and the dragon grew stronger, their bond deeper. Soon, the galaxy knew the name of Vance Kendrick, the retired human who had saved the last of the alien dragons. And with it came a new legend, the man who had defied the odds, who had stood up against the corrupt powers of the galaxy, and who had helped bring about the most unexpected of alliances. The dragon, once a mere infant, grew into its full power, a force of nature that even the greatest of galactic powers feared. But it was not just the dragon's might that shocked the galaxy. It was the way Vance, an old, retired soldier, had inspired others to fight for something greater than themselves. In the end, Vance and the dragon didn't just survive, they thrived. The dragon's people, once thought extinct, began to re-emerge, and with them, a new era of hope for the galaxy was born. The forces that sought to control the galaxy's future were met with resistance, and a new alliance was formed, one led by a human and an alien species, united in a common cause. And as for Vance Kendrick, the old, retired human, he found peace in knowing that, at the end of the day, he had done something that mattered. The galaxy might have been a vast and dangerous place, but in his heart, he knew that it was still worth saving.